Hey everybody, okay, I hope this is working. I've not done it on here before, but I wouldn't say old pro, but I am very experienced with the whole live thing. So I started out on Periscope, you guys, 8 years ago? And then I do daily lives basically in my Patreon group over in Facebook. So I've been doing the live thing for a long time, and I thought it's supposed to be a thing here on YouTube, especially going into 2023. So we are just going to make it happen. I'm hoping I can see comments as they come in as well. I love the interaction. I love when people comment, so don't shy away from doing that. And I also realize that my setup, it leaves something to be desired. As we get into doing more of these, I'm hoping to be doing a live about once a week here on YouTube. And so as we get into more of these, I will be getting a better setup where I'm not going to have to flip around my camera to show you my computer screen. I'll have it all, we'll work out all the bugs, but you got to start somewhere. So here we are. Oh, I'm getting text messages, of course, right when I go live. Okay, so here we are. I am Mackenzie Kappa. If you don't know who I am the podcaster behind Live Well Anyway. You can find that wherever you get your podcasts. We have a lot of planning and wellness content that happens over there, plus some just really fun discussions with friends and how to take care of yourself like a grown lady and all of that kind of thing we have over on Live Well Anyway. Good morning, Holly. So be sure that you go check that out. We also have a great Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/livewellanyway that we would love to have you come be a part of. And there's all sorts of other ways to get involved with the platform. You can find me at Instagram on Instagram at Mackenzie Kappa. And it's just, it's a really good time. But for right now, I wanted to show you guys what I am doing with my planning. I love planning. I literally had a night where I didn't have any kids this past week, and I spent 5.5 hours planning because it is my jam. I love to kind of get a handle on things and create a roadmap for my life moving forward. And I also do that for other women or help come alongside them as they are figuring out those things as well. I host cohorts and courses and do one-on-one coaching for women who are feeling overwhelmed and just want to get a better handle on how to get done in their day the things that they want to get done. So I am going to show you how I set up my planner for January. So my goal this year is actually to be using a different digital planning system every month of the year that I am going to show you guys how I set it up, and then I'm going to review what I liked and what I didn't like about that particular setup. So the first one that we are going to do is the one that I am the most familiar with, the one that I typically am already using, and that is the combination of Google Calendar and Trello. So there's a lot of things that I like about this versus using an actual digital planner, which we will be getting into, where I'm using my iPad and I'm, writing on it and doing all of that. I have a different lineup of a bunch of different ones that I want to use throughout this year. So if you have any suggestions for digital planners that you would like for me to try out and review, be sure to let me know. But I have decided that I'm going with the Google Calendar and the Trello because Google Calendar, once you get it set up, it is so easy to automate. Whereas when you're doing a digital planner where you actually write things in or type things in, you have to copy those things, move them from week to week or from month to month. But I don't have to do that with Google Calendar. There is so much that I can do to create repeatable tasks that just happen. I go ahead and I have a YouTube video actually that you can go check out about how I set up Google Calendar. And I'm going to show you guys. But I have a different color for each and every one of my Google Calendars so that I can really see kind of where my time is going when I have it all on the calendar. And I fill that puppy up. I don't leave a lot of white space in my day. It's kind of like that whole idea of, Dave Ramsey says, to budget all of your money. So anything that you have coming in, you have it, a purpose for it, even if it's this money will roll over into next month. You know what that is doing. It's the same kind of idea with my time. I try to account for almost everything, even if it's this is when you're going to take a break. I try to account for that so that I can make the most use of my time. this doesn't work for everybody. My goodness, I truly know that. Some people just need to have their list. Some people need to have more white space. I know for me and the productivity standards I have for myself and the amount that I'm wanting to accomplish in a day, I need to have this very structured amount of time so that I can get as much done as humanly possible. So this is what allows me to do that, is having my Google Calendar be incredibly structured. So even I went in over this Christmas break, and as I was deciding some of the health routines that I'm wanting to work into my life and that sort of thing, I have put those on my calendar. I've given them a space so that each individual little thing has a place and where I need to get it done, because I think that's another big thing about accomplishing our goals and what we want to do in our life is figuring out when we're actually going to get them done. So I put those right on my Google Calendar, which I'm going to flip around and show you here in a minute. But Trello is also the place where I kind of like keep all the bigger, broader ideas. I keep what content I have coming out for the week, what work tasks I have to get done. It's sort of like where I start on figuring out everything that has to be done for the week. And then I go over into my Google Calendar and I plug all of those things into a spot so I know when I'm actually going to be getting them done. Okay. I'm going to flip around my camera so you guys can see my screen, and then we are going to go from there. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. If you are watching this on replay after I am not going live anymore, then you can definitely put them in the comments and I will respond there, or even do a future video answering your questions. Okay, let's get this flipped around. Maybe. Okay. I know, you guys, this is not the best setup. Someday I will have this all like, I'll be embedded on the screen and you won't have the glare of my window. But this is how I have my calendar set up. So you can see I've put in all of what my morning tasks and routines are that I want to get done for just making things go off like clockwork. I make sure to account for the amount of time that it takes me to be in the car to take my kids to school or pick up my kids from school or whatever it is. So I count for all of those things. And then I really try to maximize my time during the day that my kids are at school to get as much work done as I possibly can. So this is a loose, I'm like going to go in here and probably hone it in a little bit more. But I also like that if I didn't get something done one day, then that night when I'm planning for the next day, I can go ahead and move it over and create space in the rest of my week. So that's, I guess, a couple weeks from now. We're not even on this week, guys. I'm really on top of it. This is what this week looks like. This makes much more sense. So this just helps me to stay on top of everything. But like I said, I start out in Trello. So I create a board that basically looks like this in Trello, and I just update it. I will usually change the dates in here and kind of roll it over from week to week so that anything that needs to be carried over can be carried over. But I make a list of all the content that I have coming out. This could be for whatever your job is, whatever work that you have to do. And then I'm not done filling this in. I need to add other things in here for this week, like, if I can type with one hand, pay accountant, like things like that. I'll put in my bills. I will put in any different task that I have regarding my kids or whatever, things that have to be done this week. And then this is my list of things that are kind of ongoing projects that I'm wanting to work on, things that if I have time in my schedule, I can place them over on my Google Calendar. I can really easily with Trello move cards between lists, which is really helpful. I like that aspect of it. And then I kind of keep a running list of work that I need to get done on the weekends. Sometimes I will change these things, but even like for our household cleaning and everything that I want to get done on the weekend, things that I want to get done for myself. And this was my before the end of the year list, which didn't quite happen, but there's still things that I want to get done. And so I kept that list there so that as I am getting them done and I am finding places to be able to fit them in my schedule, I can make sure to continue working on those things that didn't quite get done before the end of the year. So this is sort of where I do my brain dump for the year or for the month or the week. And I'm going to talk about that more later this week. I think I'm going to come back on here and do a live specifically about doing a brain dump within Trello and how to make that effective. But I also have a board that I created for myself for 2023 that's called Like Your Life. So I had a little space where I'm putting quotes that I like. These are my guiding principles for this year. Everything that I'm doing, I'm trying to kind of run through these principles. And so I actually have a podcast coming out this Wednesday that is all about these different principles. So be sure you are subscribed to Live Well Anyway, wherever you listen to podcasts, because that will be there. So these guiding principles are establish routines and systems, hold boundaries, practice momentum over motivation, specify and work ahead. And then my word for the year is aligned. And I'm also wanting to focus a lot this year on community and authenticity. My goals I've broken down into streaks instead of just like big goals. They're into like the little things that I want to get done every day. And you can see like I put down my January streaks, which I can check off in here. And then I have a big overall writing goal of 10K on all of the platforms that I'm on. Hi, Katrina. And so this is kind of like how I'm breaking down my year. And then I have my goals in here. I have a place where I can detail out all of my routines. Like you can see all the things that we're needing to get done in our evening routine to set us up for a good morning. It's just like a place where I can brainstorm those things and put them all in one place. My daily work focuses, so what needs to happen each day of the week, what content is coming out, and what I can focus on that particular day of the week as I'm getting my work done. And then so this is the content plan. This is what's coming out every day. These are the different things that I want to be focusing on each day of my work week. I wanted to have a place where I could just kind of bulk put in, like have a running list of what I can do in bulk. So if I have a day where I can just get a lot of work done on one thing, well, these are all the kinds of things that I could sit down and just crack down on. I could record a bunch of YouTube videos. I could record a bunch of podcasts or ads for the show or whatever that is. And then I also went in here and did like things that I want to buy or I'm hopeful to buy this year, and then my different income streams. It was just kind of a summation of my whole year and where I'm at and what I want to accomplish so that I have a really easy place to come back to that has everything in one spot. So as I am doing my planning, let me sit you back down here. As I'm doing my planning for the month, I just make sure that I kind of am like referencing back to this overall Like Your Life board for 2023. And then I go into my weekly board where I kind of just figure out, okay, what is it exactly that needs to get done this week? And then once I have all of that done, I can move those things over into my Google Calendar and get really specific about when those things are going to get done. So then I have a map to follow. Then I've done that before my week has started. And all I have to do is open that up and move forward once I get into the week. I don't have to think about what I need to do next because I find that I waste so much time if I don't have a plan. If I am trying to figure it out all day long, well, what do I need to do next? That is a waste of time. But having it all figured out beforehand and having it automate, because you saw a lot of those things that I had across the whole calendar in Google, they are then repeated on the next week. I set them to repeat. I do them by day. That is my little tip. I don't put it in on a Monday and say repeat each day of the week, because if I need to shift something around one day because we have a change in schedule, I don't want it to shift everything around on all of the days of the week. So I do it by day, and I create those repeatable tasks that then will come up, or it's events. I don't really use the tasks part of Google Calendar because you can't change the color. I like to be able to change the color of all of my different things, and I want to put them in on a certain part of the day. So that is how I do all of that. I hope that made sense, but that is how I've set up my calendar and my Trello for going into January. I believe we are going to use Notion next month, and then we are going to start moving into some more actual like digital planner using GoodNotes and that sort of thing in March. But if you have any suggestions or you have any questions, I would love to hear them. Again, check out my podcast, Live Well Anyway, wherever you get your podcasts. Come and join us on Facebook and Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at Mackenzie Kappa. I hope that we can get more people into these lives in the future. I think it'll be super fun as we get to like chat more. Your son loves Notion. I know. I'm very torn over it because like I'm a Mac girl and Mac is so easy, and Notion to me feels very much more like PC. Yeah, it feels like I need to know how to code, but I've seen some people do some really cool things with it, and I am wanting to use it, I think, this year to like track some stats for all of my different platforms and that kind of thing. So I think I want to dive in there and we will see how it goes. But this month I am going to be using Trello and Google Calendar. He had to give you a tutorial. Yeah, like I have to watch a lot of YouTube videos to get up on Notion for sure. But there's also a lot of templates out there that people have created, which are really helpful. Okay, I will be back at the end of the month showing exactly how my month went in Google and Trello and talking about, there's a whole community of Notion users and templates out there. Yeah, there totally are. So there's definitely ways to learn. But Trello is easier and it is more like visually pleasing, I think. Like I have my picture of the Eiffel Tower here, which is fun. And it just like, it felt like I wanted something that was going to be inspirational. You've tried several different things, but can plan all day long, and it does no good because you forget to look at what comes next. And that's where I think like you have to get it in your face. If you aren't going to go back and look at your calendar, then you need to write it down and like put it on your bathroom mirror and put it in your kitchen and like make it obvious, make it in front of your face so that you actually will come back to it. And so, yeah, it's just like one of those discipline things. For me, it's like that momentum over motivation. I have to know that I want to do this even though I don't feel like it. And I have to like get in there and look at it. I have to follow the plan so that I can have the kind of progress that I want to have. So yeah, we've got a lot coming up this year. I'm super excited. I should be back on here at the end of the week, I think on Friday, doing exactly how I do a Trello brain dump. Like if you are wanting to put down everything that you've been thinking about and organize all of it, we are going to go through that. I'm going to show all of that. And then I'm also going to be hopefully releasing a video soon about how to plan that works with your monthly cycle. So we have all these different weeks of our cycle where our brain is working differently. Our brains as women change in chemistry by up to 20% over the course of the month. And they are geared for different things during all of those different weeks. And so it's smart to be planning differently for all of those different weeks so you can maximize what your brain is geared for and how much energy you have and all of that. So I am hopefully going to be producing a video that goes into all the details of that you guys can be looking for. So if you haven't yet, be sure that you subscribe. You can ring that little bell so that you get notifications whenever I'm going to be going live or I put out any new content. It's going to be a good year here on YouTube. I'm so determined to be here. I'm really excited and it's going to be a good 2023. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and until I see you on here next or I see you on any of the other platforms, go be bold and gracious. Bye.